Welcome, Johnnies, to our first installment of WRED-TV's Eye of the Storm. We here at WRED-TV are so glad to be back in the studio and hope you all have been doing well during these times. Our studio may look a little different, but we're doing everything we can to make sure everyone in the studio is safe so that we can continue to get these stories out to you. I'm Emma Ando.
And I'm Jake Morrow. We have the top stories from St. John's and beyond, and we are bringing them to you. This is the Eye of the Storm.
In the midst of social unrest among the St. John's student body, a history professor by the name of Richard Taylor found it appropriate to probe the class about the positive side of slavery in the United States. Many students in the class found his insistence on their participation in the offensive discussion uncomfortable and even disgusting. An investigation into Taylor, led by History Department Chair Narina Rustamji, uncovered a track record of predatory and racist behavior in the classroom, as well as a series of racially charged tweets against civil rights groups such as Black Lives Matter. As a former NYPD officer, Professor Taylor was also a doctoral candidate whose line of research focused on the militarization of the New York City Police Department. After the investigation concluded, Taylor was removed as the course instructor for this section, but many BIPOC students have called for the university to take more drastic action. On September 17th, an independent student organization known as the SJU Radicals organized a protest on the Queens campus, calling for Taylor's termination. While the student body awaits a response from the administration, more light continues to shed on the lack of racial diversity among the teaching staff at St. John's and other institutions. People of color make up almost 50% of our student body, yet 70% of the university's full-time faculty are non-Hispanic white people. As a result, many students and professors, such as former Professor Dr. Rob Bland, have called for the university to take as much initiative and diversity in their faculty as they do their student body.
One of the most interesting changes that came with the sudden pandemic was the growth of online communities. Two pages in particular, Dripomage and Overheard SJU, have served as a source of community for the St. John's student body. Drippamaj is a meme page that interacts with the St. John's community by creating comedic content based on shared SJU experiences. Overheard SJU is a page dedicated to connecting the SJU community through story posts and various chats. Both admins expressed how the quarantine drew the student body to them as students claimed that they made everyone feel like they were still on campus, strengthening the sense of community even with everyone spread out all over the world. With this spiking in attention, they focused more on addressing important issues like COVID and standing up against recent social injustices. Drippamaj stated, "While I'm not affiliated with the school, I will always use my platform to better the experience for the community as a whole." Overheard added, "I want to leave a lasting impact on the student body, community, and culture of SJU. Make it more open and social, connect students, and enrich the college experience." We can all agree that these two pages have done just that. If you're interested in interacting with either page, you can find them both on Twitter and Instagram at Drippamaj and at Overheard St. John's U.
During these unique times, St. John's has been adapting to help keep students and faculty safe. Johnnies have returned to a campus that's a little different from where they left it. Here's Mark Johnson to help show you a few of these changes.
Hi, I'm Mark Johnson, reporting with WRED-TV. With this new normal that we've been facing with, St. John's have been making efforts to make the campus just a little bit safer. Let us show you some changes St. John's has been trying to make around campus this semester. Every day, we are touching not so sanitary things like door handles, light switches, our phones and laptops, and much more. So St. John's now has implemented the use of hand sanitizer stations all around campus to make sure we're staying clean. So when it comes to classroom sizes, now we have a limited student capacity. We want to maintain social distancing accordingly, and at the same time promote students' ability to learn in a classroom environment. To do this, we've had to adjust classroom settings. Each classroom contains wipes which disinfect bacteria and germs on desks, chairs, and anything else you may need. Some students on campus also attend online classes. Some students may not be able to get home in time for their online class and in-person class, so St. John's has decided to implement the use of touchdown rooms around campus. Spaces are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and the D'Angelo Center is open on Sundays now from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sullivan Hall over there is also open now on Mondays through Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays. If you walk around campus, you'll also see direction stickers to prevent crowding in the halls and limited capacity elevators to follow social distancing guidelines to reduce the chance of spreading illnesses. Dining at SGU has been impacted greatly by COVID-19. However, St. John's has found ways to make it safe for both students and staff. At Montgomery's Dining Hall, self-serve and indoor dining is currently not permitted. This is to prevent physical interaction between the people making the food and the people serving the food, and any contamination that may come from buffet-style serving. Instead, students can take their food to go and eat outside underneath the canopy areas on campus. Meal exchanges at St. John's has also seen some changes. Students can use their storm cards now for lunch and Marilat in addition to the previous meal exchange rules. When students use their storm cards for meals, there's a new card touch scanner instead of swiping to prevent physical contact between others. Unfortunately, the Red Storm Diner is closed for the semester. However, Montgomery's Dining Hall is open much later and even added a few additional items to the menu to make up for it. Well, those are just a few of the changes St. John's has made to keep up with the changes going on around us. With these new changes, it's still the same campus you all know and love, and we're glad to be back. Once again, I'm Mark Johnston reporting with WRED-TV. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. We'll be sure to look out for that when we're out and about.
With most university classes, services, and activities now being held remotely, clubs and organizations have found themselves looking for new ways to stay active despite not being able to hold in-person events. Most clubs have found that the lack of in-person meetings has brought down their usual member engagement and that the online activities fair lowered their usual number of new members. But that hasn't stopped these organizations from trying to keep in touch with their new members. They've been utilizing online tools like social media, Zoom, and email. Most organizations said they had previously used most of these platforms, but are now using them more than ever. Many organizations are having trouble finding a balance and finding ways to stay creative. One member of UNICEF stated, "Ultimately, I think that the main challenge is trying to find fun activities for our club to participate in while not overburdening them with any more screen time than is already required from their classes." While everyone is still figuring out how to make the most of the situation, most clubs said that they plan to continue incorporating aspects from remote events when they can once again meet in person. So next time you're browsing around online, make sure to reach out to any clubs you may be interested in joining.
As the dialogues on racism continue in our country, it once again found its way into the world of basketball. Recently, Kadasha Hoppy and Greg Williams of St. John's women and men's basketball team sat down to speak about their views on social justice and its place in the professional sports. Both Hoppy and Williams agreed that social justice initiatives in the NBA have served as an inspiration for themselves and for people all around the world. Hoppy is quoted saying, "People could try and sit back and not get upset and be silent. For them to speak up shows that no matter what they get paid, it's still a big deal." Despite the challenges brought on by COVID, Big East basketball will be back soon, now donning Black Lives Matter patches on their uniforms. So make sure to support your fellow Johnnies, not just with their performance on the court, but also with their fight for social justice everywhere.
Like so many other things, COVID has really flipped the world of sports on its head. Here's Jonathan Almagro to give us a quick update on university athletics.
Thank you, Jake. I'm Jonathan Almagro, and welcome to Sportswire, your home for all things Red Storm sports. So there actually are no sports, at least for now. But here's Brooke Mosca to give us a few tips on keeping ourselves and others safe so that we can get back to the sports we love a little sooner.
Hi, I'm Brooke Mosca, here with WRED-TV, and I think we need to have a little talk. I'm sure you're aware of what's been going on recently, but in case you haven't, let's go over a few things. First things first, you need to wear your mask. and we need to wear it the right way. So let's go over what it is. It's not like this with your nose out. It's not like this as some weird type of earring. And it's not like a weird chin strap. It's like this, with your nose and mouth fully covered. Now you might be thinking, Brooke, how am I supposed to breathe in that? Well, just remember, we're all going through this together, and it's best if we wear our masks like this, the right way. Now let's talk about hygiene. Should we even be having this conversation? Probably not, since we're all adults, but let's go over it anyway. We need to be washing our hands for 20 seconds with warm water. Now, if counting to 20 isn't your thing, that's okay, because a lot of people have set up songs with 20-second choruses. And so if you want, you can just check out one of those songs as you wash your hands. So find one. And if you aren't near a bathroom, use hand sanitizer instead. Another thing, this is the hardest pill for us to swallow. No parties. Limit even small gatherings and avoid large ones altogether if you can. Finally, here's a few extra tips if you're on campus. Make sure to follow all the campus res life rules and regulations. And if you're not in your dorm, make sure to wear the mask. This is in hallways, the classroom, elevators, and even in the dining areas in Marillac and DAC. But in all seriousness, it is important to remember that in times like this, all we have is each other. Things might be a little bit scary, but we can get through them together. So let's make sure we do everything we can to keep ourselves and everyone around us happy, healthy, and safe. I'm Brooke Mosca. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Brooke. We'll make sure to all do our part to work together and make all of this a little easier.
St. John's is dedicated to the safety of its students, especially now concerning the global pandemic. As of September 10th, the number of active cases on campus increased to 30 individuals. During this period, 6 people isolated on campus and 24 were isolated off campus. As of September 20th, there have been a total of 13 active cases here in the Queens campus and 6 confirmed cases for the Queens campus. The threshold is 100 cases within a 2-week period. If the university reaches that number, then classes will all be temporarily held online. With 2 weeks of decline, it is imperative to continue to reinforce and uphold social distancing measures. So stay safe, wear your mask, and wash your hands.
While there has been a lot of focus on taking care of our physical health lately, it's important that we also take the time to look out for our mental health. That is what the St. John's Department of Student Wellness is here for. As it is stated on their Instagram page, St. John's Wellness does their best to promote facts, not fear, clean hands, and a warm heart, all of which they happily succeed in. St. John's Wellness makes it a point to encourage us to talk about our mental health, allowing us an outlet to discuss what may be bothering us and showing us how we can face those problems head on. If students are feeling unwell, they are urged to reach out to the Center for Counseling and Consultation, where they can meet with someone to discuss any problems or concerns they may be facing. While the CCC can't accept visitors in person, they've been utilizing phone calls and video chats to make sure students can still access the help they may need. For more on St. John's Wellness, check out their Instagram page or the St. John's official website. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. Let's all make sure to look out for each other and make sure to set aside time to take care of ourselves in the process.
Staying on track is already hard enough. With a large chunk of classes taking place remotely, it may make things a little trickier. If you're anything like us, you probably have no idea what's happening and sometimes. Luckily, we're here to show you how to navigate online programs so that you can make sure you can stay up to date on all your work.
Hello, I'm Thomas Cavanaugh here with WRED-TV. Now that most of our learning experience is remote, every professor has been using Blackboard or Canvas to get in contact with their students. With that being said, sometimes you may be asking yourself, how exactly does any of this work? Well, you're in luck because we can help. First, you'll need to be able to access the Sign On St. John's site. Type signon.stjohns.edu in your URL and it will take you to a page that looks like this. Where it says username, type in your student email address without adding the @stjohns.edu. Where it says password, type in capital S, lowercase j, and the ID number found on the bottom left of your Storm card. Once you've signed in, there will be various security prompts that you must complete. Don't worry though, because once you've taken care of them, you'll never have to worry about them again. Now that we've gotten past the security, it's time to get our schoolwork done. You should now see various links to different St. John's resources, including Canvas, Blackboard, and Outlook. Let's start with Blackboard. If you're a returning student, you should be familiar with Blackboard already. When you click on the Blackboard link, you will see the institution page on the top left corner there. And there will be 3 white lines stacked on top of each other that by clicking a different column, different links in Blackboard will appear. Click on the link labeled Courses and you will be directed to a page listing all of your current courses. Click on the course to be directed to the course's homepage and you'll find those courses. Here you will see any announcement, tasks, and anything new that any professor has posted. By clicking on the arrow in the top left corner, you will find another column with different links made for your course. Under Content, you will find the notes, homework, assignments, and other tasks that your professor posts. Every professor is different, so it may take some time to familiarize yourself with how your professor organizes his or her content. Under Discussions, you will find discussion posts that your professor has assigned. When you view the discussion assigned, you will have 2 options to add to the discussion, and it will depend on your professor which one you must do. First, you can add the discussion by creating a Create Thread at the top. This will bring you to a page where you can see your entire response to discussion questions. You can also click on the thread the professor has already made and click the reply button to add to your response there. Now we'll take a look on Canvas. Back at the Sign in St. John's page, when you click on the Canvas link, it will take you to the dashboard. Here you will see all the classes that you have that are currently using Canvas. Click on any of them to be directed to that class's homepage. On the left side, you will see a column with the different links made for that course. Under Syllabus, you will be directed to a page that contains the course summary. Here, you can see all of the assignments, discussions, and quizzes for the course along with their respective due dates and times. Under Modules, you'll find any learning modules the professor has assigned. These modules contain the content and learning activities that your professor has expected you to complete. Under Files, you will find all of the resources that the professor has given you for your course. They can include PDFs and documents of notes, study guides, or anything that is relevant to your course. If your class is held synchronously through WebEx, you can click on Cisco WebEx to get to the link in your class. And that's pretty much it. Remember that each professor is different and will utilize these resources in their own way. So pay attention to what that professor is looking for and you'll be able to get the hang of it in no time. We hope that this quick tutorial was helpful and we wish you the best of luck this semester. I'm Thomas Cavanaugh with WRED-TV. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for giving us a hand with that. Now hopefully you have just a few more tools to make sure the rest of the year is a success.
With all the unrest going on lately, leaders of the St. John's community have acknowledged that in order to become an anti-racist institution, they have to do the work necessary to open up those conversations around campus. With that being said, something to make sure you don't miss out on this semester is the St. John's new virtual Anti-Racism Conversation Series. St. John's added this new feature to have all students and faculty raise their own awareness and take accountability for their roles in the fight for racial justice. The virtual series is made up of 5 conversations that take place every other Wednesday until October 21st. The episodes are 90-minute discussions where viewers will be able to listen in on anti-racism topics such as whiteness, racialized trauma, and becoming agents of change. These discussions are coming directly from St. John's students, faculty, and alumni with 3 goals in mind: to normalize conversations about racial equity, to encourage people to explore concepts and issues of racial justice more deeply within their own lives, and to equip people with resources and tools to help them become better informed about racism and anti-racism. You can catch up with the last 2 episodes on the St. John's YouTube page. Don't miss the next conversation, Impact of Power, Privilege, and Oppression, on Wednesday, October 7th at 1:50 p.m.
This year, St. John's is celebrating its 150th birthday. Since opening in 1870, St. John's University has expanded to 7 different campuses, 3 of which are across the sea in Europe. The year's theme is Faithful to the Mission. In honor of the Catholic Vincentian mission, the campus is dedicated to serving. However, plans to celebrate the monumental year have been put to a halt due to the COVID-19 restrictions. With a few ways to celebrate this momentous event, the university and its quick thinking edited a special birthday greetings compilation video. The video consisted of current students, faculty, devoted alumni, members of the Vincentian community, and a certain beloved Hall of Fame basketball coach, all giving their best wishes to the institution. Although COVID-19 restrictions are still heavily enforced, St. John's will continue to remember and recognize the 150th year until June 16, 2021.
Now that we're finally back on campus, students have been getting used to a new reality of what life on campus is like now. Let's go to Celia Welton to hear a few of our fellow Johnnies tell us what they think about their return.
Hi everyone, I'm Celia Welton here with WRED-TV. Today we're outside the D'Angelo Center to get some insight from our fellow Johnnies and find out how they've been adjusting to these unprecedented times. How does it feel to be back on campus?
It's definitely been an adjustment. It's kind of weird. It's been a little ghost town around here.
It feels really great to come back to campus and actually be in a learning environment rather than just being at home on a laptop. So I'm loving it so far.
It's crazy. I mean, for the most part, I feel like most people are wearing their masks. There's social distancing. I went downstairs to DAC recently and there's no one there.
It also feels kind of dead, the campus. I know that there used to be more activities happening, but I think I'm grateful for being on campus and not all online.
How has the classes been with the new hybrid format?
Well, my classes, 3 out of my 4 classes are all asynchronous, so they never meet at a particular time and they never meet on Zoom. So low-key kind of feels like you're just teaching yourself this material.
It's not for me, 100%. The way that they split up Blackboard and Canvas, I think, is really confusing.
It's difficult. I actually prefer in-person classes than online classes, honestly.
Well, all my classes are asynchronous, so I think it's more beneficial because I can make a schedule of my own.
How have you been staying connected with other members of the community?
You know, social media.
We've been meeting people in our classes that we have in person.
But it's been a little challenging just because, you know, it's hard to talk to people. People go in and they just want to kind of leave. Yeah. But it's definitely an adaptation, but it's okay.
What precautions have you been taking to stay safe?
So I've been making sure I keep my mask on. I've been making sure I've been maintaining social distance between people and making sure that they're also not too close to me.
I have hand sanitizer always, and I have wipes and I wipe everything down.
I always have extra masks everywhere. I have 2 hand sanitizers in my bag. All my friends have masks and extra hand sanitizer, so we're trying to make sure we're all safe.
What's one thing you miss about campus last year before the pandemic?
Oh man, spring carnival.
Club fairs and the sports and stuff like that.
Go out and hang out with friends and not have to worry about all the restrictions in the city and being able to go out to sports events and stuff like that.
Special thanks to these Johnnies for sharing their thoughts with us. One thing's for certain, St. John's is resilient and we will get through this semester together. Once again, I'm Celia Welton. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Celia. Whether you're back on campus or studying remotely, it's great to get back to the community we love so much.
As usual, we'd like to end our show in high spirits. We now go to Amanda Avila's with Sunny Side Up, bringing you the happier side of world news.
Thanks, Emma. Recently, Chuck Feeney, a billionaire and co-founder of the Duty Free Shoppers Group, has achieved his long-term goal of donating all of his wealth. In 1982, he set up a secret philanthropic foundation and began his journey. He managed to keep his activities a secret for 15 years before he sold shares in his company. Several years later, in 2007, his biography, The Billionaire Who Wasn't: How Chuck Feeney Made and Gave Away a Fortune Without Anyone Knowing, was published. In it, he pushed the idea of giving while living. He explained that he believed that wealth brings responsibility to improve the lives of others, or else it will create problems for future generations. So, he encouraged others to give out throughout their lifetime like he did. He has donated $3.7 billion to higher education institutions, $870 million to various human rights groups, and $1.9 billion to different projects in Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. It took him nearly 4 decades to achieve his goal, but Chuck Feeney definitely shows us the importance of giving while you can and dedicating your life to helping those around you. I'm sure we can all learn a thing or two about generosity after hearing Chuck's story. This month, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Starting on September 15th and ending on October 15th, Hispanic Heritage Month celebrates the millions of Hispanics from over 20 countries. Created in 1968 by President Lyndon B. Johnson as a way to honor and recognize the Latinx community, we remember the trailblazers who came before us and made an impact on the world. This year, the theme of the month is Hispanic Americans, a history of serving our nation. A highlight of people recognized includes Ellen Ochoa, the first Hispanic woman in space, and Corporal Joseph H. de Castro, the first Hispanic to win the Medal of Honor. Not only do we celebrate Hispanic Americans, but Hispanics from all over the world, some of whom would have a legacy that would last to this very day, like Guillermo González Camarena, a Mexican electrical engineer who introduced color television to the world, which is the reason you get to see all of the lovely colors we have here around our set. Or Sylvia Rivera, a Venezuelan Puerto Rican who fought for much-needed transgender rights. These are just a few names of many that continue to change and inspire the future of our world. To learn more about Hispanic Heritage Month, you can go to the website hispanicheritagemonth.com. We hope these stories brighten your day and inspired you to celebrate a culture that may be your own, to celebrate the diversity around you, or even to consider saving up a little extra change to give back to your community. Back to you, Emma and Jake.
Thank you for those cheery stories, Amanda. That is all we have for this edition of Eye of the Storm. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell to stay up to date with all of WRED-TV's latest content and all of St. John's news.
Also, be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WRED-TV for more content and to find out how you can be a part of our production family. From all of us here, I'm Jake Morrow.
And I'm Emma Ando. Thank you for tuning in to our first installment of Eye of the Storm. We here at WRED-TV hope you are all staying safe and are wishing you all the best for this new year.